Good evening and welcome to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We're at Teddy's University in Stroudsburg. We're going to talk Warrior football tonight as we recap the Warriors' big win over Bloomsburg, but we're also going to meet members of the ESU women's volleyball team. I've got Coach Jimmy Terwilliger to my right and women's volleyball coach Tricia Melfy to my left. Coach Melfy, I want to start with you. Thanks for joining us tonight and talk us about the team right now. 12-4 overall, and you're 3-2 in conference play. How tough is the PSAC when it comes to women's volleyball?
I think our conference is one of the best in the country, to be honest. We're probably one of the top 5 in the country. I don't think the East only is really what defines the PSAC. I think Shepherd, Shippensburg, and ESU are kind of the top dogs in the East side, going against some of the schools out west that have kind of traditionally been solid for many, many years. But I like our chances. I think the 3 of us out east have great chances against those in the west. But obviously want to send our best few forward at the regional rounds to give us a chance to get to that Sweet 16, sort of Elite 8, but PSAC schools could get there for sure.
A couple of years ago, you had the chance to host the PSAC championship, and I remember Clarion and Gannon coming in, and Clarion kind of came out of nowhere to surprise people being in the tournament and then played really well. So it's just a testimony to the fact that, there are a lot of good teams in the conference.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had 6 in the region rounds before. 6 out of 8 teams came out of the PSAC, so it's a solid conference. We're all trying to kind of recruit and be better than like Gannon and Clarion at this point. They've been the top 2 now for several years, so we're all trying to get to that level to help the PSAC continue to grow across the nation.
So what's on your schedule coming up for the next couple of matches?
We go on the road this weekend. We're at Westchester on Friday night, Millersville on Saturday. 2 big ones for us. I think, obviously when you go on the road, you play. I personally feel like we play a little freer. There's less distraction. It's more focused just on volleyball, so I'm excited for the matchups and look forward to some good results.
Who did you bring with you tonight for us to meet and talk to?
You're going to meet Anna Coulter, just got Player of the Week again for the 3rd time this year, and is leading the nation in hitting percentage right now for Division II. Anna Coulter, Rachel, one of my seniors that transferred from the outside to the middle for me this year. Taylor Haan, who's been our leading kind of quarterback for volleyball, our setter, and Leo, our little defensive specialist from Portugal.
All right, well, we can't wait to meet those players. We'll do that in just a couple of minutes. Coach, I want to talk to you and talk about what it was like to be on the sidelines and be in charge of a team that produced the first shutout for ESU football since the season opening game in 2012 when you beat a Lock Haven team 31-0, as a matter of fact. Nate Daniels threw 4 touchdown passes that day. 3 of them were over 60 yards. Talk about an offensive performance that day, but you guys played very well, continue to rush the ball very well, and Sean McTaggart's a big part of that.
We've got a lot of great football players. I'm really blessed to coach them, and our staff has worked really hard. I'm blessed with a lot of good guys to work with. Really proud of Mike Lackey. I know we've talked with him on this show multiple times. His defensive coaching staff put together a plan, and when you have good players that execute at a high level, great things can happen. We're trying to bridge the talent gap and the capability gap right now, and we have guys doing that. And the reason for that is we've been putting together and stacking days in practice, and our team has been practicing at a real high level. And if you continue to do that on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, well, good things can happen on Saturday. So we're hyper-focused on this week. We've got a big practice and meetings up tomorrow. Today's our players' off day, so I look forward to being able to continue that trend of good practices. Saturday,
homecoming against Westchester. They've got to be considered a hot team right now after losing their first 4 to start the season. They've won 2 in a row in the Eastern Division, so they got to feel pretty confident about the way they're playing football right now. They beat a tough Shepherd team on Saturday.
As any ESU alum would always tell you, you throw out the record books when you play Westchester. It's one of those games that you look at, and that's an East Stroudsburg-Westchester rivalry. I don't care if you played in the mid-2000s, if you played in the 60s. That has been one of those games that's been traditionally a great rival. So throw the records out for this one. I'm really excited about it. They're playing good football. They're a talented group, and I really look forward to it. I know our players will do the due diligence they need to in practice because every game from here on in is a championship game, and we've got to be able to play at that type of level game in and game out. So I'm really excited about that.
Who are we going to meet tonight?
You're going to meet a tandem of East Stroudsburg guys who should be no stranger to anybody here. Tim Kinney and Evan Roche, both from East Stroudsburg High School South School Hard Knocks. And then you're going to be two defensive guys. Matthew Davis, our linebacker, who's played extremely well in his senior year, and a young defensive end, Ashton, Blose, from Delsea High School, New Jersey, who has come on this scene. He's been a terror on the defensive line. Really excited about what he's doing at the level that he's playing at.
There aren't many redshirt freshmen that can have the impact on a defensive line like Ashton Blose has had. Since I've been calling defensive games, there are a few and far between, a handful of players that have made an impact in their redshirt freshman season on the defensive line.
I know it's probably a surprise to some people, seeing the way that young man works, his diligence in the offseason, the way he approaches the weight room, the way he approaches speed, the way he takes care of his body and what he does. There's no surprise to me in that. He is a tremendous young man, a servant to everybody. He's playing at a high level. I really look forward to continuing to coach. I'm really blessed to coach guys like him.
All right, well, we'll meet those fellas and the ladies from the women's volleyball team when we come back. We'll get things started. But a reminder that ESU is hosting homecoming on Saturday night against the Westchester Golden Rams. We'll have live coverage the ESU Warrior pregame show at 5:30. The kickoff at 6:05 from Eiler Martin Stadium and Gregory Dowds Fields. We'll be right back with more of the ESU Coaches Show live from Teddy's University, so stay with us. We are live on the ESU Coaches Show on the ESU YouTube channel. I'm Chuck Seese. We're talking ESU women's volleyball right now. Anna Coulter, to my right, is a junior middle blocker from Hershey, Pennsylvania. She was the PSAC Athlete of the Week for the third time this season. In fact, that just got announced this afternoon, so let me be one of the first to congratulate you.
Thank you.
It's a very special honor. She's the reigning PSAC East Athlete of the Year. She had 2 all-region first-team honors last year as well, and she leads the nation in Division II right now in hitting percentage. What is the key to being a successful hitter? I mean, not just getting the hits, but you know that the hits are going to be successful.
Just being smart about where you're placing the ball. I know that for the most part teams are game planning around what I normally do, so just being unpredictable and showing them something they've never seen before.
I've seen the unpredictability on the court, right? You guys have an opportunity to make a kill, and you might make a little deke over the net. Is that something that you guys communicate with, or is it something that says, hey, they've been going long for the long ball, or for the deep hit, now if I just put something short, is that something that you make as an individual decision at the net?
Normally I'll talk to either players on the sideline like Rachel or to Melfy and just ask what's open, but for the most part it's just like spur of the moment, let's try it, see if it works.
I'm going to talk to your teammate here for a second, but I'll be back, all right? Rachel, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Let me tell you a little about Rachel Abramson, a graduate outside hitter and outside blocker from Waddell, Arizona. They say Arizona is a dry heat. Is it really that dry compared to the Poconos?
Compared to Poconos, yeah, it's really dry.
How did you acclimate yourself? Did you have to, go into a forest for a week and just... I'm kidding.
I just kind of sucked it up. You just figure it out as you go.
You chose to come to East Stroudsburg in your graduate season. Talk about why you made that decision.
When I came in, I was looking for, obviously, the schooling. They had the program that I wanted, and I loved Melfy and the players. So.
Talk about that, because chemistry, it's a small roster compared to, let's say a soccer team. So there has to be a little bit of chemistry. And talk about that, what it's like to be a new member of the team. Obviously it would seem that they welcomed you with open arms.
Yeah, last year was my first year, so I came in knowing two of the girls already from high school, actually, and then everybody else was just super welcoming. They were all at one point a new girl on the team, so they were welcoming with open arms. Anna and I became really close friends really fast. So.
Talk about being on the sidelines when she's in the game. She just mentioned it. She said, you might see something on the sideline. How do you impart that, information? You guys have to wait for a timeout, or can you give her signals on this while she's on the floor and vice versa?
I'd like to think that I'm loud enough on the sidelines, but a lot of times it's...
You don't keep anything secret. You're just shouting it right out.
Or I will wait for a timeout and walk up to her and be like, hey, zone 4 is open, go for it. Or, hey, you have a triple block out.
What is here's my question for you. What's your favorite part about living here on this side of the country?
I like how green it is. How green and the hiking trails.
What do you think of the colors now? We're right here. We are in peak foliage season. That's got to be a pretty neat sight. You're not used to that out there in the desert of Arizona.
No, I am not, but I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Rachel, thanks so much for a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn back over to Anna Coulter because the awards just keep coming in. You are, as I said, leading the nation in hits. You're a 3-time PSAC East player. You're playing at a high level right now. Talk about how the team chemistry comes into helping you play at a high level.
My position, it really relies on the whole team playing together, passing, setting, if we can play defense or not. So really in practice, we just come working every day to support each other. And I really trust every player behind me and next to me on the court, and they allow me to do what I need to do, and then I can help them do what they need to do.
Hitter on the front line, you're also responsible for blocks. So, which do you like better, the kill or the block?
I do like a good block every once in a while, but...
So I have a question for everybody tonight. You're from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Is Hershey your favorite chocolate?
Yes.
Is it? Could I interest you in trying something else? I mean, would you go for a Cadbury or a Ferrero Rocher, anything other than a Hershey?
Give it a try, yeah.
Thank you for keeping an open mind.
What can I say?
No, I certainly appreciate that. I really do. Anna and Rachel, thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us here on the Coaches Show. Best of luck against Westchester and Millersville this weekend. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend as well. And once again, you can find all this information about the ESU Warrior women's volleyball team at esuwarriors.com. We've got football for you Saturday evening from Isla Martin Stadium in Gregory Downs Field when the Warriors host the Westchester Golden Rams on homecoming. The pregame show starts at 5:30, the kickoff at 6 o'clock, so join us. Stick around. We've got more women's volleyball players and ESU football players to meet tonight on the Warrior Coaches Show. Stay with us. We are back on the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We're talking ESU football right now with ESU wide receiver Evan Roche to my left and ESU offensive lineman Tim Kinney to my right. Both of these young men are from East Stroudsburg South, and East Stroudsburg South is hosting a traditional high school rivalry game this week against the Stroudsburg Mountaineers. It's the battle for the Little Brown Jug. Your coach played in this game as a defensive back as well as a quarterback. I think he wore number 11 when he was wearing a purple jersey for Ed Christian. But Evan Roche, you played in this game, so you know it's a huge rivalry. What does it mean, you know, as a high school player to have such a strong rivalry with such a neighboring program like Stroudsburg?
You know, it's a huge rivalry, and it builds the culture for South and Stroudsburg. You know, it's been a huge rivalry for, I think, over 30 years. It's been something.
It's a little longer than that.
Yeah, definitely longer than that. But yeah, I can remember playing in that rivalry and waiting the whole week, and actually waiting the whole year to swim a Little Brown Jug game. So I know Coach Walters is going to hold it down at the Purple Pit against Stroudsburg and bring that jug home, baby.
Well, I remember talking to a couple of different guys that played on, you know, the different teams. We had Jake Cirillo was a teammate of yours. He was an East Stroudsburg South guy. Now he's coaching for the Stroudsburg Mountaineers. Tim, what are some of your memories of playing in that Little Brown Jug game?
I'm going to be honest, they weren't too great because we never got the best of them. They beat us all 4 years, so it wasn't ideal, but hopefully South can pull it off this weekend.
It really did mean something to you because you still kind of carry that with you today. You kind of grimaced when you said, you know, we never got them.
Yeah, it definitely take it personal when you lose to Stroudsburg.
All right, now, so I got to turn this around a little bit because you guys actually have a Stroudsburg Mountie on your team, and I'm talking about Benny Pembleton. You guys both wide receivers. What's it like to have that? Are you going to have a little ribbing going on? Maybe something, you know, riding on the game for bragging rights when it comes time Friday night?
Yeah, definitely this year going to talk to Benny. Benny's one of my best friends, so, you know, we're always bantering back and forth in high school about who would have done better against each other. But, yeah, definitely going to talk to Benny, find out, see if he can wear some South gear. If South brings back that Little Brown Jug, you may see him. But, yeah.
Tim, your season, we thought it was going to come to an end when you got rolled up on earlier in the season. Talk about how your rehab's been going, and you actually got back on the field last week against Bloomsburg. That must have meant a lot to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going from thinking I broke my leg to you could play football again was pretty huge, and I was just excited to play again.
Talk about what your rehab process was like. I mean, how quickly were you able to get back literally on your foot?
Well, it was about 5 days on the crutches, and then from there on working with Jamie and the training staff, get me back. So now everything's feeling better. We booted up a little bit, but it's all right.
Last homecoming rodeo this weekend against Westchester. What's that mean to you?
Not a big fan of Westchester, but for homecoming.
Why would you be?
For homecoming, it'll be nice to get a win against those guys.
All right, it should be a great game on Saturday night. I have one question for you. What's your favorite chill activity?
You know, I'm a big homebody. I like chilling at the house and playing some Madden, playing some
video games. All right, Tim, I got one for you. Name the last movie you saw.
Last movie I watched yesterday, Grown Ups 2.
Oh, Grown Ups 2. All right, well, there you have it. Tim Kinney, Evan Roche, way to get after it, guys, tonight, and way to get after it on Saturday against Bloomsburg. We look for more of the same on Saturday night against the Westchester Golden Rams. Stay with us. We've got more to come from the ESU Coaches Show. We're at Teddy's University every Monday night at 5, so join us for the next ESU Coaches Show. We're back after this timeout. Thanks, guys. We are back. Now we're back on the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We're having fun here at Teddy's University every Monday night at 5 o'clock. We're here throughout the fall semester, so come on down and join us for a future edition of the ESU Coaches Show. We're talking women's volleyball. To my left, Leonor Chambel. To my right, Anna Coulter. Oh, sorry. I see. I had Taylor. I had Anna here before. Taylor Haan is a senior setter from Phoenix, Arizona, where they say it's a dry heat. But I already asked Rachel about that. So, talk about what it's been like for you to come to the Poconos to play, women's volleyball. It's nothing like Arizona.
Yeah, it's nothing like Arizona. It's been good because I like to travel, but very different. We're not in the middle of the desert here. You get all 4 seasons here, which I like, and yeah, it's good.
What do you think about the foliage right about now? It's pretty popping.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What do you like to do when you're off the court? When you want to get away from campus or get away from school for a couple of days? You're certainly not hopping on a flight to Arizona. So what's your chill activity like?
Well, I wish I could hop on a flight.
Right.
But just hang out with my friends, and we go to New York sometimes, which is fun. But yeah, just chill. When we do have off time, I like to really chill.
Closing in on 2,000 assists, and you had to take a moment and really think about what that meant to you. Obviously it means that the team is being very successful if your assists are leading to kills that are putting points up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a big milestone. I mean, I think it really shows, my hitters that, they can put a ball down, and having so many assists, it's cool. It's good.
Is it tough to, obviously there's communication involved. Which way are you going to go with the ball, right? Are you going to go up to the right of the net? You're going to go to the left, or are you going to make the play in the middle? Obviously that's part of the coaching and the team strategy.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes through my head, but I have confidence in all my hitters that they can put a ball down. So it's really whoever just is there and ready.
All right, here's our question for you. You're from Arizona, so are you going to have Tex-Mex or surf and turf?
Probably surf and turf.
Surf and turf, good answer. I'm happy with the surf and turf myself. Leo is, let me get my notes here right, a grad student from Portugal. So what brought you to the Poconos to play volleyball in your graduate season?
That's a really good question, because sometimes I wonder too. No, but I've always wanted to study abroad. I was working back home and playing, and I've always wanted to do my master's abroad. So obviously the United States is somewhere where you can play and study at the same time. So it felt like the best possibility for me, and knowing a different culture, different people, and also a different game. Obviously we're playing volleyball, but it's different every time. So yeah.
The one thing that's always been impressive to me when you look at the rosters of the teams on campus, there are so many international students that are playing, whether it's women's soccer or women's volleyball and other sports. Does that make a difference when you come onto the campus for the first time as, someone that's certainly not from this area?
Yeah, for sure. Having other internationals is always a good feeling because they're experiencing the exact same thing as I am. But, my team always made me feel like home. So for me, it's not being that far from home, because I feel like I'm home too, and I have my family here too.
I never knew that there was a specified position until I started announcing a couple of volleyball matches. Your position is a very special position. What is the name of your position?
So I play libero, and I wear a different jersey.
Now, what is the libero? Is there a definite translation of what that word means in the game, or is it just, is that what they call it?
She said the best passer, so yeah. Yeah, we get in for the middle. They're normally super tall, and they're not the best passers or diggers on the team. So that's what we're here for, just to make the setter's position a little bit easier, and dig every ball and pass every ball for our team to score.
And you're in the middle of every play. Right? You're basically receiving most every serve that comes over the net. So does that put extra pressure on you?
A little bit, but to be honest, if I was the other team, I would not serve the libero, just because they're specialists. They're pros at it. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's pressure to it, but obviously if I'm the libero, I'm supposed to be the best passer and the best DS. So it does have I have a little bit of pressure, but it's my job ultimately.
They can't let her hide with the different colored jersey. That kind of makes it unfair.
Yeah, she's our best passer. She's got to be.
It kind of makes it unfair. Can we get a petition going?
Actually, she's a really good passer, so.
You could see yourself wearing the libero jersey sometime?
Yeah, I'm coming for a spot.
Uh-oh. All right, now, since you're from Portugal, here in America for your grad student season at ESU, what's your favorite American food?
God, I don't think there's one, but I'm just going to say, like, like spicy wings, I would say.
And what's your what's your favorite spice? Like, have you seen the show Hot Ones? Could you do Hot Ones, like where they go?
Wait, what's that restaurant we went to?
When we go to Buffalo Wild.
Yo, what's this sauce?
It gives you the list. What's your favorite?
I got like buffalo spicy.
A traditional buffalo wing.
But it was spicy.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, as long as you were able to handle it, right?
Yeah.
Leonor Chambel and Taylor Haan, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And we certainly appreciate a couple of minutes of your time. And best of luck this matches this weekend, Millersville and Westchester. So you can find all the information at ESUwarriors.com. This Saturday night, ESU football will be hosting Westchester in a homecoming matchup. We'll be live on the air with the pregame show at 5:30. Bob Bertain and I will have the play-by-play starting at 6 o'clock on Bigfoot Country 96.7 and 97.3, streaming online at BigfootPoconos.com. We're going to talk more football when we come up, and we'll wrap things up with AJ's View in just a couple of minutes. On the ESU Coaches Show, live on YouTube tonight. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are here at the ESU Coaches Show live at Teddy's University in Stroudsburg. You can join us next Monday night. We're here every Monday night at 5 throughout the fall sports season. We're talking ESU football right now. Ashton Blose is to my right. He's a redshirt freshman defensive lineman from Elk, New Jersey. And to my left, Matt Davis, a grad student. He's a linebacker from Willingboro, New Jersey, outside of the Philadelphia area where I was born and raised. Ashton, I'm going to start with you, having a terrific season so far. And I said to Coach Terwilliger, it's kind of rare that a redshirt freshman can come in and make such an impact on the defensive line. But, you know, one of the things that you see a lot on this roster is depth, and there's good depth on the defensive line.
No, yeah, there's great depth, but a lot of it is the testament to the guys around me. They really molded me to the culture that they want it to be. And I'm just doing my 111th. I need everybody to just play around me and ball out as a team.
What was the big culture change for you? I don't know if shock is the right word, but, you know, things get more serious, I think, when you move from high school to college. I think everybody would agree with that.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. The biggest change was, honestly, time management. And, I mean, our three values, work hard, compete, do it right. That's what they instilled since day one, and that's what I do every day.
Talk about your approach to playing in Coach Lackey's defense. Obviously, it's all 11 to the ball as quickly as possible, but you've been making plays behind the line of scrimmage too.
Yeah, we just play a gap sound defense, and honestly, we just got to do our part. Each person has different reads, and you just got to do what you got to do.
You know, so many times you talk about the opposition and players and coaches to more times than not now say it really is about your execution. It's not about the guy you're going up against.
No, yeah, I just got to do all my reads correctly, get the job done, and, yeah, that's about it.
All right, I've got a question for you. Who's your favorite musical artist?
My favorite musical artist, probably Eminem.
Eminem. All right, what do you think about Eminem being a granddad?
Yeah,
he joined the reign of pop-pops. I'm a pop-pop now. I don't know what they're going to call him, but, I mean, he's a granddad.
No, yeah, he's getting up there for sure. But
crazy.
Yeah, I think it's time for him to retire, though.
Makes me feel old.
Nah, you're not old.
Ashton, thanks, man. I'm going to turn over to Matt Davis. Matt, one of the leading tacklers, the second leading tackler on the team this season. Talk about that front box that you guys have. We got Ashton and his teammates on the defensive line, and then you guys backing them up. When you're making tackles, that means that these guys are occupying the offensive lineman to the point where you can go in and make plays, and that's got to be great complementary teamwork.
I truly agree. I think that we have a great front box. Honestly, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be able to do my job as well as I could. We definitely got Blose on the outside, or he can switch wherever. We had Terrell Reynolds. We also got Skelly, and we had some young talent, Tamori. They're all doing great in the front, and I really can't complain. Like, they help me do my job the best I can do, like, to the best of my ability.
You're in a leadership position now in your final season here at East Stroudsburg. So what does that mean to you, and how do you, turn around, kind of look behind you at the depth coming up behind you, and how do you help them become better players?
I think as I got into my leadership role, it was kind of like a culture thing. We wanted to create the best culture we could for us at the moment and to where we're going, especially for the younger kids coming up. So that's just like, I truly believe in the team that we have now, and I truly believe in the team that we'll have in the future, whether I'm here or not. That culture that we created with everybody else, everybody in my graduation year, we just set the tone, and we created that for them, and we hope that they can continue it on. Matter of fact, not hope, we know they will continue it on, and that's all I look forward to. I look forward to coming back.
I'm going to bring Ashton back into the conversation, because one of the things that this defense is doing very, very well this year is playing solidly against the run, and that means that front box has to play well, but also, get some support from the secondary. But talk about what the mentality is playing against the run this season.
So we just got to play a gap sound defense. We play with great synergy, and the team chemistry is through the roof this year. I know he's going to be in his gap, and I just got to play my gap. So that's how.
Is it really just all about gap defense, or is it, there's good communication skills that you guys involved with as well?
Absolutely. There's communication on all levels, especially from the safeties to us, the linebackers, to the D-line. But really, it is just gap sound. Like, everybody, I can say, is always focused on doing their 111th, and that's the best thing that you can hope for, is everybody's prepared, everybody's communicating, everybody week in and week out is just ready to do their job to the best of their capabilities.
It's tough to compare teams from one year to the next, but you've been part of this program for several years now. So do you think this defense is playing at its highest level, or you still think there's more to come that this defense hasn't shown us yet? You guys are turning the ball over like crazy. I think the ratio now is something like +6 or +7 turnovers differential. So you guys are turning the ball over at a high level, and it has to make you feel pretty good. But is there more that you can show?
Absolutely. We can always do better. Week in, week out, every week, week to week to week to week, you can always do better. It's always about going from good to great. And that right now we feel like we're good, but we want to be great, and we want to be as great as we can. Like, we want to be the greatest defense that ever came through here, and that's what the goal is.
Well, you can't do much better than a shutout, and ESU's defense pitched the shutout for the first time since 2012 in a season-opening win against Lock Haven. And they'll be on the field this Saturday night against the Westchester Golden Rams. Ashton, Matt, thank you so much for a couple of minutes of your time tonight. We've got more to come from the ESU Coaches Show. We're going to meet a member of the ESU coaching staff before we're through tonight. And, of course, AJ's View will wrap things up from Teddy's University tonight. Stay with us for more of the ESU Coaches Show, coming back right after this quick timeout. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. We're live at Teddy's University. I'm Chuck Seese, and I'd like to say thanks to my executive producer, Eric Riggs, for doing such a great job with booking our guests and making sure that the host of the program knows exactly what's going on tonight. Jaquil Birch is to my right. He's an ESU wide receivers coach, and when you look at the one thing that popped out at me, I was looking at statistics today, in preparation for the show tonight. I knew Evan was going to be on the show. 12 touchdown passes that Sean McTaggart has thrown this year have gone to 8 different wide receivers. I think it's a high number as far as distribution is concerned. We're not, unaccustomed to ESU having, 8 or 10 receivers that can make plays, but I'm not sure so many guys have scored touchdowns. It has to be a testament to you, the job you're doing, but also the guys that you're coaching in that room.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do with it. You got a group of guys that have decided that winning is the most important thing. And they don't care who scores as long as we score a lot. That's our main mantra. And winning is important, that we score. One of us score, we score. So that's what I'd say about that.
You've played the game. You've played the game as a quarterback, and having a room full of receivers that you have to trust. Is it odd to think that there are so many receivers on this Warrior team that can step in at the drop of a hat and go in and make a play?
No, I don't think so, because like I said, it's a group of guys that they decided that winning is important. They work at it, and then they love to compete. You know what I'm saying? They compete with each other, but then they like to go out on Saturdays and compete against other teams. So they say, if you're going to try to slow me down, what about this guy? And then what about that guy? And then what about this guy? So I'd say, like, it's really pick your poison with the entire offense, and that spreads throughout our entire offense.
You see that in the running back room as well, the different skill position players that the Warriors have. So when you're drilling these guys, it almost doesn't matter who the leading receiver is, because on any given day it can be any one of them. Does that make your responsibility that much more difficult, or that those guys in the room have your back just like you have theirs?
Yeah, I'd say that they've got my back the same way that I've got theirs, and I think that we've worked to trust each other. I think that's important. You got to trust what's happening within the offense. Not just for one guy. I think Sean McTaggart's got a live arm. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in our league. He can throw from hash to outside the numbers, and we know that as receivers. So we talk about space and time when we're running routes, but we love tag on the center for us. So I'd say it's more about him holding those guys accountable to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
We've seen who the veterans are and the leaders are in this wide receiver core, but I think we're going to see a lot more with guys like Jalen Andrews and Sharif Ginyard. Tell me about those guys. And, they look like they're just itching to be able to get out there and make plays. And you with the smile on your face, I think you're looking forward to seeing them get out on the field as well.
Yeah, man, we got a group of veterans, and then we got some young guys, Chuck, who are just chopping at the bit, who just want an opportunity to go. So that sets the line. Then the old guys, they push the line, and then the younger guys are trying to close the gap. But I think those guys like Sharif, Jalen, and Cam Birdie, those guys are the future at their position. Now that the bar is being set not just by the talent, Chuck, not just the talent. It's the amount of hard work that goes in from those guys then throughout the entire group. We got receivers who will sell out and block. You know what I'm saying? So winning is important for them, and we win in multiple different ways. So I'd say that young group is coming along, but the older group is showing them how to do it. It's just not catching the ball. It's nothing sexy about playing receiver at East Stroudsburg. You got to love the block. You got to love to catch the ball, and when the ball's in the air, it's got to be yours.
I'm going to give a shout-out to Benny Pembleton right now, who has worked so hard in his years here at ESU. He's battled through injuries. When I saw him make that play, I wasn't at the game on Saturday, but when I saw the replay, and I saw him make that play down on the sideline where he just lowered his shoulder in the defensive back, and he kept that play alive, gathered another 2 or 3 yards before somebody else came in and made the tackle. But, I mean, if that isn't like the illustrative play for a Warrior receiver getting the yards after the catch, I don't know what is.
It's important to him, and it's important to all those guys, because when you go up and down, not just the receivers but the whole team, a lot of guys have sacrificed all for one thing, Chuck, just to win. They put a lot. Like Benny's a grad student, Tyrese is a grad student, Siggy's a goddamn nurse. You know what I'm saying? He's a nurse. So we've got guys that sacrificed a lot just for one cause, and that's winning. I think that's important.
Well, I think that shows from the first player on the roster all the way to the last player on the roster, and you're a big part of that, Jaquil. Thank you so much. Jaquil Birch joining us here on the ESU Coaches Show. Warriors will be on the field Saturday night at Eiler Martin Stadium against the Westchester Golden Rams, and I think I want to get a uniform after hearing Coach Birch talk about his Warrior receivers. We've got more to come. AJ's View is going to wrap things up with us next on the ESU Coaches Show, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. It's been a busy Monday night. I'm Chuck Seese. Thanks to all the Warrior players for being here. Let's see, we had Ashton, Blose, we had Matt Davis, I had Tim Kinney and Evan Roche, I had Taylor Haan, I had Anna Coulter, I had Leo, where's my list? There it is, Leonor Chambel and Anna Coulter, Taylor Haan, and Rachel Abramson, but we saved the best for last. AJ's View, AJ Monsman is with us here to talk about that game on Saturday. The Warriors have not pitched a shutout since the first game of the 2012 season. By a same score, 31-0 over Lock Haven. They beat Bloomsburg on Saturday. It must have been exciting being part of that down on the sidelines.
Yeah, Chuck, I appreciate the best for last, right? I don't know if that's true. You know, I know Coach Birch we just had on was awesome. And, you know, Coach Twig and Coach Melfy always do a good job. But thank you. Yeah, I thought the defense was just swarming on Saturday. I thought Coach Lackey did a great job preparing for an offense that, you know, a lot of teams don't see, kind of with a lot of their spread option stuff, a lot of great run game. You know, they were throwing the ball too, and they prepared their guys excellent. You know, Everett Dingle with 2 interceptions. They prepared their guys unbelievably well. They always do, always come up with a great game plan. And they were just smothering and swarming. You know, Bloomsburg drove it, 80 yards the first drive, and they had to go 90, so they kept them out of the end zone. And from there on, I kind of knew when we got to the last quarter, like, yeah, they're not going to score here. The defense was just unbelievable, and they're trying to keep it rolling.
I mean, the way Everett Dingle's playing right now, I mean, he was in a better position to make the one interception, kind of like playing a center fielder. I guess it was a missed throw by the Bloomsburg quarterback, but, I mean, he has been all around the football for the last several weeks.
Yeah, he's a great player, and it starts with his preparation. He watches a ton of film. He practices very hard. He's just a great all-around football player, and he's very smart, and he just builds a great football IQ. And I think he knows a lot of the times by their formation, their splits, what they're going to run, and it just puts him in optimal position to make plays. You see it on kickoff, too. He's a great insert player for us. He's a great defender. He plays a great safety, and Coach Inge does a great job building his football IQ, and they just do a great job on that end.
Give me a sense of what the team has been like this week with their preparation with Westchester coming in here. They've won 2 in a row, including, they pounded Shepherd on Saturday.
Yeah, Westchester, I think their record speaks less of what kind of a football team they are. A new staff over there, and they've done a great job in their first year with a big, resounding win over Shepherd last week by 3 touchdowns. So, they're going to come in and obviously look for some revenge from last year. And we just got to get our guys ready to play. I keep saying it, but I think the only team that can beat the Warriors is the Warriors. And we just got to get ourselves ready to play for a great football team coming in. But I think it should be another great one in the PSAC on Saturday.
Should Be a great atmosphere, too. A.J. Monsman is going to join me for the call of the battle for the Little Brown Jug. We mentioned it earlier tonight between the Stroudsburg Mountaineers and the East Stroudsburg South Cavaliers, so I know you're going to be going to Benny Pembleton and Evan Roche and Tim Kinney to get some insight on this tradition that, by the way, the next time you see Evan, you can tell him that this year will be the 80th year of the battle for the Little Brown Jug.
You know, there's always a rivalry, especially where we are with the university. You know, I get Coach Twig for the East Stroudsburg South against Coach Hags for Stroudsburg, and it, you know, feeds down to Kinney and Roche against Pembleton. So it's always a great game, and it's a great atmosphere, and you know, it should be a rocking crowd, and we're excited.
It should be a great weekend of football. We'll have live coverage of the battle for the Little Brown Jug on our sister station, 93.5 SPG, Friday night at 6:55. And then Saturday night at 5:30, Bob Bertain and I will be at Gregory Dowds Field and Eiler Martin Stadium for the homecoming matchup between the ESU Warriors and the Westchester Golden Rams. AJ, thanks for the time tonight.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the ESU Coaches Show next Monday night at 5 p.m. So come on down and join us. Have a great week, and make sure you check out ESUWarriors.com to follow your favorite Warrior team. We'll talk to you next Monday night from Teddy's University on the ESU Coaches Show.